The Grand Tour team is seeking out one of the final Black Star Dragon Balls through their journey. After having faced off against unimaginable trials and tribulations, including the machine mutant Dr. Mew, the team excitedly found the location of their last Dragon Ball, the 2-Star Ball. It is located on a green planet full of spider-like creatures and green monsters. But Goku, Trunks, and Pan fear the worst, because there is something more dangerous than any animal. They feel an incredible ki rising from the planet. As the team lands, they are confronted by a giant green beast, having to dodge out of the way of their mouths. Pan thinks they're cute, Trunks isn't amused. Sadly, it looked like the Dragon Ball is close to the incredible power. Carefully, the team approaches the entrance to a cave. Goku peeks inside for a second, but is instantly dragged out of the cave by a charging man. The man crashes against Goku into a side of the mountain, his eyes flaring in anger. Goku had no choice but to transform into a Super Saiyan to escape the grip, but as soon as he gave him a look, he recognized what he was, a Saiyan. Goku knew this meant bad news, but there was some sadness to the Saiyan's look like he had never seen before. Goku tried to talk him down, but nothing was getting through to him. Trunks transformed as well, in order to support Goku, rushing in to tag team. Even Goku's Super Saiyan 3 form didn't really stand a chance. The villain could take the two of them on easily. In the meantime, Pan and Giru found the final Dragon Ball inside of a cave, under something that looked like a grave with an old armor and a remote control over it. Pan was curious about what this could be. She tried on the armor as a joke, and pretended to be Vegeta from the time he arrived on Earth, imagining the story she had heard from her granddad and father. In the process, she pressed the button, unknowingly sending a huge shockwave through the new Saiyan's body. Goku and Trunks watch in horror as the man's muscle mass lessened and his hair came down. He falls to his knees in pain until Pan throws the remote and armor to the side. The two Saiyans run to him and confront him, asking if he's okay. He pushes them off, but he doesn't have enough energy to stand back up. He apologizes for attacking them like that, but he hasn't been the same since his father died. This was the first time he has been out of that uncontrollable state. While giving him his condolences, Trunks asks when his father died. The Saiyan says that he isn't sure, but it has been at least 10 years. Goku and Trunks look at each other terrified. 10 years with this amount of power? Impossible. Who was this man? Trunks helps the Saiyan stand up, and they introduce themselves when Pan arrives. He says that his name is Broly, and that him and his father have been stuck on this planet ever since he was cast away from planet Vegeta. He wasn't sure why, but he was happy to see a new face. Although Trunks, he had a familiarity with him. Goku can tell that this dude isn't a bad guy, but his potential is incredible. He wasn't even a Super Saiyan, yet he could keep up, no, defeat 2 Super Saiyans at the same time. Although Super Saiyan 3 did give him a little bit of trouble. He really wanted a chance to battle this guy under different circumstances. Goku tells Broly that they have to return to Earth before the Dragon Balls blow it up, but he's more than welcome to come. After Goku gets his adult body back, they could have a rematch. Broly's very confused and says that he can't leave his father behind. This is the only home he's ever known, and sadly walks towards the cave. In there, Goku and the others see him readjust the armor and controller back into the place over the grave. Pan gulps, realizing what she had done. Goku walks inside and tells Broly that he has a few hours to think it over, but that his father probably would have wanted him to get out of the planet. After all, planet Vegeta isn't even around anymore. He isn't exiled from anywhere else. A few hours go by, with Trunks and Goku ready to leave, but Pan goes up to Broly in the cave. She talks to him, one-on-one, heart-to-heart, and he really takes a liking to her. She's very sweet. She even taught him a thing or two, gave him some food. She told him a bunch of stories about Goku's adventures and what they have been through. Broly whispers Frieza's name when he's mentioned, and Vegeta too. He recognizes those names, and can even imagine what they look like, according to his father's description. Pan tells him that there's so many adventures out there, and finally, Broly agrees to go to Earth, as long as he's allowed to take the armor and controller with him, as mementos of his father. Trunks allows this, and the team starts the engines to their spaceship en route for Earth. They didn't think they would make a new ally on their journey, but were excited to see where their new heights would be thanks to him.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying the video thus far. If you like this sort of content and want to see more and support the channel, then consider becoming a Patreon. There, you can help support the channel through various tiers while getting some perks of your own. As a Patreon, you will help get the videos out faster, fun thumbnail art, editing, and even writing for videos. Overall, this is the best way we can ensure to keep providing you guys with awesome content. Plus, you get some neat perks like a bonus mini podcast, early access to videos such as this one, and more. So be sure to go to patreon.com/SmugStick and consider supporting the channel. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Become a Patreon!
And now back to our show.
But on Earth, something horrible was brewing. Baby, the evil Tuffle creation, hell-bent on destroying the Saiyans, has been slowly taking over Earth's most powerful fighters, starting with Goten, Gohan, and now Vegeta. Once Goku arrives, it was too late. Broly steps out of the ship, a little scared. He had taken a shower and had some new clothes on, courtesy of Goten having already packed his gi in the ship before he was left behind. They were small on him, but it was something new. And of course, he still had Ba's ear over it. They were excited to return to their families. Goku leaves behind the Dragon Balls with Dende, unaware that he too has been taken over by Baby. Finally, they arrive at Capsule Corp. But as soon as Broly, Goku, Trunks, and Pan step into Bulma's house, things take a turn for the worse. Goku introduces Broly to everyone, but the Saiyan recognizes something. He looks directly at Vegeta. That name, that face. He was the man his father hated so much, wasn't it? Or perhaps it was his son? No wonder Trunks looked familiar. Broly didn't trust him one bit. He slowly walks up to Vegeta. Beyond just being the son of the man that had exiled him, he didn't have the eyes of a Saiyan, or even the smell. Trunks tells Broly to calm down, but Broly instinctively throws Vegeta outside the house, taking a whole wall down with him. Vegeta skids across the plane until stopping himself. He smirks, ripping his top off. Trunks punches Broly, asking him why he did that, but Broly's eyes don't divert from Vegeta. Now Goku suspects something too, telling Trunks that he doesn't think that's his father. They watch as Vegeta's hair turns from black to white, and lines run down from his face. It was Baby. Broly rushes in, though Goku tries to stop him. He can't, because from behind, a pair of Super Saiyan Gohan and Goten grab onto him, and Trunks. The fight commences, and Goku isn't too happy about this. Although he's impressed with his son's skills, he's more worried about Broly. He's doing extremely well against Vegeta. Goku turns into a Super Saiyan 3, knocking out his sons for a moment, telling Pan to take Chi-Chi and Bulma to the lookout. Super Saiyan 3 Goku grabs onto Broly, telling him to calm down. He doesn't want to kill Vegeta. Broly isn't in the same angered state that he was when they first met, so he's more reasonable. Even so, Baby Vegeta recognizes something. He had thought that Vegeta was the most powerful Saiyan around, but this newcomer was something else. He was really giving him a hard time. So much so that he was already in Super Baby state. While Goku tries to explain what is going on to Broly, Baby Vegeta slashes across Broly's chest. A splash of blood whiffs by Goku's face as Broly's chest scar is split open. Goku is in a bit of a shock while he watches Broly stagger back in pain, and Baby travels up from Vegeta's fingernails to Broly's scar. Goku reaches out, but it's futile. There's a bright light that pushes Vegeta and Goku away, and once they see again, they watch as Broly rises up, lines coming down from his face, and his eyes becoming red. Baby Broly was born. Vegeta laughs, still under Baby's control. Pan arrives back from leaving Bulma and Chi-Chi. Not only is Broly taken over, but Trunks was brought down as well. If only Goku could teleport, but his child body limited his power. Pan rushes to grab her granddad, scared, while Vegeta rushes from the other side to attack her. Just then, a new figure arrives. Kibito-shin. The Kai grabs onto Goku and Pan, ready to teleport away to the Kaioshin realm, but almost as of instinct, Goku reaches out and grabs onto the rushing Vegeta as well. They are all teleported to the Kaioshin realm. Instantly when they appear, Kaioshin pushes Pan away, yelling at Goku on why he brought Vegeta. Goku smirks, saying that their fight isn't over. But more importantly, he knows that he can't defeat Broly alone. They need Vegeta. They need to free him from Baby's control. The old Kai says that it's too dangerous. If one of the Kais gets taken over, it might be the end of the whole universe. Goku says not to worry. They only need to figure out one way to free him while he distracts him. If he isn't the main host body of Baby, he can still take him on. Kibito-shin trusted Goku and teleports over to Kami's lookout. He had to get the divine water from Dende, but it was soon obvious to him that Dende, Popo, Bulma, and Chi-Chi were all taken over by Baby as well. He couldn't waste any more time and avoided them as much as he could while he got the jar of divine water. They would need to get the rest later. In the meantime, Goku and Vegeta's battle continued. He was happy to battle his old friend again, but just wished it was under different circumstances. Super Saiyan 3 was a good match against Super Saiyan 2 Baby Vegeta, though the evil duo kept trying to get to Pan and the Elder. Goku never allowed it to happen. Finally, Kibito-shin Kaioshin returns and tosses a urn of divine water to Goku, who catches it and slams it against Vegeta's face, splashing water all over Vegeta. This kills the parasite inside. Vegeta's extremely confused, but Goku smiles and welcomes him back. It is time for them to team up one more time. Goku explained everything to Vegeta, giving a fuel for revenge. Pan watched as Goku and Vegeta began to spar with each other, while the old Kai tried to stop them. He said that Baby and this Broly guy were so powerful that they can't be beaten with mere training. They will have to try something else. Vegeta was concerned about what this new Saiyan could mean. He didn't think they would find any new ones. Why was he exiled? It was concerning. The plan was to yank their tails out and unlock further potential in the Saiyans, but Vegeta refused to do that. While he protests, Goku is already getting his tail pulled out. While they did that, Vegeta trained on his own. On Earth, everyone started to get taken over. Super Baby Broly rose up to Kami's lookout, where he wished for a new planet Tuffle, using the Black Star Dragonballs. He then began to transport all the humans to the planet. Bulma was by his side, as she was the smartest of them all. Things continued similar to the original story, with Oop confronting Baby and fusing with Majin Buu. Oop's techniques and power were actually surprising to Baby, but Broly's power is so immense that him simply opening his aura stops the candy beam. Oop is turned into candy by his own attack and eaten. This is a race against time, as there is no one to stop Baby, and now the Black Star Dragon Balls will destroy Earth. It takes a good amount of time, but Goku's tail is finally ripped out. Vegeta says that he's ready for this as well, while Pan stays behind with the Kaioshin. Vegeta gulped. He wasn't sure what to think about this new Saiyan, and if his father cast him away, perhaps he meant trouble. With him by Baby's side, this could be a losing battle. But Vegeta had one trick up his sleeve. The time he spent in the Kaioshin realm was to perfect a new form, that of Super Saiyan 3. But will 2 Super Saiyan 3s be enough to take him down? Goku doubted it. They would need more than that. But they didn't have time. Hibito Shin put a hand on their shoulders and teleported them down to new planet Tuffle. They were in for the fight of their lives. Goku and Vegeta teleport in, with Goku already in Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta says that he's finally caught up to Kakarot, as he shows up his newly discovered Super Saiyan 3 as well. Goku is very proud. All the time in the Kaioshin realm really paid off. He couldn't believe just how fast he achieved it when he put his mind to it. But this wouldn't be enough. They both knew it. Baby approached them with a smile, welcoming them to Planet Plant. He says that he wanted to take over Vegeta for the poeticness of the whole thing, but this Broly guy was so incredible he couldn't resist. Not that it mattered. They would all be under his rules soon enough. The 2 Super Saiyan 3s rushed in to attack Baby, but it was as if he was learning as he fought, and had gotten stronger since last time. It wasn't a complete wash, but Goku knew why. He still wasn't on that rage state. Baby grabbed both by the head and smashed them down to the ground, taking a step back as he let them go and shot a huge blast down. Baby began to walk away, while Goku's Super Saiyan 3 state ran out. Vegeta damned the world, spitting to the side. It was up to him. Goku's body couldn't handle Super Saiyan 3 for long. Vegeta pushed himself and landed a clean hook at Baby that sent him into a tower. It started to crumble as the two went inside and continued to fight, going up until reaching the top floor and bursting out from it, the tower crumbling beneath them. Meanwhile, Goku looked at Earth, tears streaming down. He had failed, but his tail twitched. Something was starting to happen. Vegeta punched Baby once more into another tower, crashing through it. Vegeta went after him, and he looked to the side for just a split second and saw Bulma next to a huge machine. This Baby guy, he took over his wife, his son, his daughter. He would never forgive him. He exploded his aura and slammed Baby down. Quickly, he returned to the tower to get Bulma, but she backed away from him, calling him a disgusting Saiyan. Vegeta continued towards her and rubbed his hand against her cheek, telling her that he would make Baby pay and that he was sorry. He looked out through the window and yelled out at Kaioshin to get more of the water. He had to at least free Bulma. She could help. Without anything else to say, and after getting slapped by her, Vegeta rushed out of the tower, but he was immediately punched in the face and sent back to where Kakarot was. But he hit something in the process. Something huge! Vegeta looked back and his eyes widened. It was an Ozaru. Vegeta dodged the attacks, but each punch he dodged, he realized the Ozaru became a little smaller, and his fur changed to golden. He had never seen anything like this before. They didn't have time for this. He had no option but to retaliate, but his huge size was an issue, and his power was incredible. Baby Broly laughed from afar, happy to see them kill each other. Kaioshin heeded Vegeta's request, and did his best to get more divine water. He teleported to Bulma, and slashed her with it. She was freed, and Kaioshin told her that they needed her help. They needed to distribute the rest of the water and free the other humans. He asked if there was anything here that could help, and she shook her head. All of that was here was a blood waves machine. Telepathically, Kaioshin informed Vegeta. This gave him an idea. His wife was a genius. He yelled at her to shoot at him with all of it. Bulma nodded. She trusted her husband, jumping on it and pointing it out. Just as Vegeta dodged the fire breath, he was hit. Vegeta too transformed into an Ozaru, but unlike Kakarot, he could control it. Baby was furious. He couldn't believe that he had been betrayed, rushing towards the tower. But Kaioshin sensed it and teleported Bulma to the Kaioshin realm. They would have to wait to save the rest of the humans. Baby was furious, and he screamed in anger. In the meantime, Golden Ozaru Goku and Ozaru Vegeta threw punches. Each one shook the entire city. But somehow Goku's Ozaru seemed stronger. This golden form. Vegeta was still conscious, and yelled at Kakarot. He said,
Kakarot, listen to me. This ain't you. I know you. You're somewhere in there. We need to bring down Baby. We can't afford to turn against each other.
But it wasn't getting through to him. Ozaru Goku brought Vegeta down and punched him in the face, beginning to charge a mouth beam. But Ozaru Vegeta put a hand over Goku's face. Finally, he said,
Chi-Chi, Gohan, Goten, Bulma, Trunks, Bra, Krillin, Piccolo. They are waiting for you. Pan, she's watching you fight. You need to come back, Goku. You need to save us.
Goku's mouth shut, and he took a step back. Ozaru Vegeta panted. They would have to fight Broly as Ozarus, it seemed. But something incredible occurred. Goku felt something within that he hadn't felt before, his Saiyan power uniting with his Earthling one. A bright light blinded Vegeta. When he opened his eyes, before him there was no Ozaru. It was an adult Goku with fur and a tail. Vegeta whispered to himself,
Super Saiyan 4.
Baby witnessed this, and instantly activated the blood waves machine in order to obtain what this form could be. He got in front of the waves, and he felt an incredible power surge from within, but it wasn't an Ozaru, at least not yet, and not in the same way Vegeta and Goku had it. It was something else. But Super Saiyan 4 Goku rushed in, slamming his fist against Baby's face, telling Vegeta to catch some rays. Vegeta knew what Kakarot had in mind, and he jumped in front of the machine, his body changing into that golden Ozaru form. Thankfully, he remained in control, and soon enough, Goku too was staring at a Super Saiyan 4. Goku and Vegeta flew next to each other, staring down at the rubble where Broly had landed. They watched as a huge spiral was created from the rubble as Baby Broly rushed up, his eyes blank. Baby was still in control, but this was the state in which Goku had fought Broly in, an unstoppable stage similar to an Ozaru. The hum of the blood waste machine rang in the background, and the battle began. Goku and Vegeta's new form kept up well against this version of Super Baby, but he only got stronger and stronger. It was already multiple times more fierce than when Goku first faced it. It looked like he had been toying with him and Trunks. Baby was being overwhelmed when Vegeta really got into sync. Vegeta punched, Goku responded with a kick. They ping-ponged Baby to the sky, where they charged up a blast. Goku on the left hand and Vegeta on the right. A blue and purple orb charged up and fired. Baby screamed in pain, but he was still alive. He needed more power. Baby opened his arms, creating a revenge death ball with electricity surrounding it. It was green, and it created a hole where the clouds should be. He launched it down, but Goku and Vegeta retaliated with a final shine and a Kamehameha times 10. It wasn't enough. Baby kept on pumping ki into the death ball, and it crashed against the Saiyans. They were sent spiraling out through a rock formation until they finally caught themselves. Baby finally flew to the blood wave machine, letting him hit it. Goku and Vegeta stood there, watching Baby Broly transform into an Ozaru, then a golden Ozaru. But they couldn't allow it to go any further. Vegeta launched a ki ball that blew up the machine. Baby looked back in anger. He wanted to reach the same form as Goku and Vegeta. He yelled and fired a green blast from his hand. The Saiyans dodged it, but he followed Vegeta. It hit him, but Goku saved him from further damage with an instant transmission. Goku and Vegeta looked up at the monster. This was horrifying. Vegeta hated to admit it, but perhaps they needed something more. Perhaps they needed fusion. Vegeta turned to Goku and suggested. Goku's surprised, but says that they need to distract him somehow in the first place. They keep on dodging his attacks, but they realize that he's slowing down. Baby begins to sweat, because from within, Oob has undone the candy spell and is starting to burst out. He had gotten absorbed on purpose, and now was the perfect time to keep Baby busy. Goku and Vegeta realized that he was gifting them an opportunity. The two jump back, stand side by side, and fuse. Oob was sped out, and Baby finally regains composure, but his eyes widen as a new being is born, Gogeta.
Sorry, but your luck's just run out. I am neither Goku nor Vegeta. I'm the guy who's going to stop you.
Baby realized the power that this being had, but it didn't matter. He had to win. Ozaru Baby launched himself towards Gogeta, but disappeared and reappeared behind him, slamming his foot down to make him fall. He was way too fast. Baby pushed himself in such a way that it would kick Gogeta. It worked, but the fusion didn't move. Instead, he grabbed onto Ozaru's leg and slammed him back down. He then flew to his tail and grabbed it, spun him extremely fast around until the tail snapped off of Baby's body, and he crashed against a tower. Now they could fight with the same size. That Super Saiyan 4-like transformation versus the real Super Saiyan 4. Baby rose back up. It didn't matter that he hadn't achieved that form. His energy was surging, overflowing. Baby pulled back his fist and burst so fast against Gogeta that he took half the buildings along with him. The two clashed. It was a real challenge for them both, as the bindings between space and time broke around them. Just briefly, the two fighters disappeared from reality. Oop tried to sense their ki, but they were gone. Gogeta launched a Stardust Breaker that pushed Baby into the glass-like wall, breaking through and reappearing once more in the Tuffle world. Baby fired a barrage of ki blasts as he flew backwards, but Gogeta avoided them all. The villain finally caught him by the face and slammed him down, firing a mouth beam. But Gogeta spun on his back, tripping Baby over. He then jumped back, put his hands out, and began to charge up a Big Bang Kamehameha. From behind, he heard Oop tell him not to kill this guy. He can still be freed from Baby's control. Oop was right, so he made sure to just use the right amount of power to not kill Broly. As it hit Baby, the chest scar split open once more, but this time Baby escaped from it, and Broly spun into a wall. Oop went to make sure that he was okay, while Gogeta reappeared in front of Baby's parasite. Baby tried to escape, but he was surrounded by a mirage of Gogetas. With nowhere else to go, he jumped onto one of the wounds on Gogeta's body. But that's exactly what the Saiyan wanted. Smirking, Gogeta began to rise his ki to the maximum, his body heat increasing rapidly. He was effectively becoming a walking supernova, and from within, Baby began to burn, disintegrating into nothingness. It was over. Baby was gone. Gogeta defused. Goku and Vegeta smiled at each other, while Oop yelled at them to come help him. Over the next few days, Kaioshin and the rest helped humans regain themselves. Everyone was freed from Baby's control, and eventually everyone was taken from Earth onto planet Tuffle. As planet Earth blew up, using the Namekian Dragon Balls, they restored it, and life went back to normal. But Vegeta was very curious about this Broly guy, inviting him to live at Capsule Corp along with him. He wanted to train. The fire within him had been reignited by this Super Saiyan 4 transformation. Broly was so incredibly powerful that even Super Saiyan 4s had a hard time against him. They wonder what his Super Saiyan 4 would look like. They also got to learn a little more about Broly, about Paragus too, his father. Ironic, because in Hell, Dr. Mew and Dr. Gero met, planning on taking revenge on Goku and Vegeta. But when Vegeta's name was spoken, another figure appeared, Paragus. He wanted in on this revenge. Kid Goku waves at Broly as he watches the fight from within the tournament temple. Goku had invited Broly to the next Tenkaichi Budokai, and though Broly was excited, he realized that it wasn't for him as soon as he saw a child push Goku off of the arena, all because Goku wasn't paying attention. Due to his kid body, he hadn't been allowed to participate in the adult division. Broly had been welcomed by Earth, becoming friends with nearly everyone instantly. Many wanted him around, but some thought he represented a threat to Earth, including 18 and even Bulma. Even Vegeta was a little worried, but he knew if anything, Broly needed their support. But others really cared about him. Oob wanted to train with him. Goten and Trunks were a little ambivalent, but showed him around the city, and Gohan wanted to study his S-cells. The scientists thought how it was interesting that a Saiyan who lived alone for so long could be so powerful, thinking that maybe his rage boost was similar to his own. Bulma even reworked his shock collar into a power dampening one, so instead of hurting him to stop him, it was able to calm him down. Broly had never felt more at home, even if he did miss his father. Unknown to him, his father was planning something with Dr. Mew and Dr. Gero in Hell. As the trio talked, they discussed how they all wanted revenge on the Saiyans, Goku and Vegeta. Paragus didn't care about this Kakarot guy, but Vegeta deserved to pay for what he did to him and his son. The trio smirked as they turned to look at their creation, a large creature with immense power overflowing. This was no Hellfighter 17, no. Instead, Paragus had convinced the doctors that his son would be a more suitable candidate for revenge, and they would have twice as much power if their son joined them. At first, Mew refused to work with the Saiyan, like Paragus, but he had a common hatred for King Vegeta that was palpable. As they conversed, Mew realized that he recognized the Saiyan. Paragus had been one of the few to advocate for peace between the Saiyans and the Tuffles back on Planet Plant. He had always gone against the King's wishes, it seemed. Perhaps King Vegeta's exile of Broly served a twofold goal, getting rid of Broly and punishing the rebellious Paragus. Back on Earth, Goku, Pan, and the others are celebrating the defeat of Baby with a small gathering, waiting for Trunks and Goten to return from going out with Broly. As they heard a knock on the door, Pan excitedly ran over to it, only to see the extremely hurt Trunks fall to the ground in front of her. It was Broly. Everyone is instantly on guard until they hear... It was Broly, in front of another Broly. The Broly Goku had saved from Vampa was still in his base form, trying to keep away from the battle. He was confused. Goku was wondering why Broly wasn't fighting back. The martial artist was going to zoom towards them as he looked up to the sky and realized something much more horrific was going on. A crack in the sky was allowing enemies from their past to travel from hell into the living realm. Goku quickly turned to tell Pan, Gohan, and the others to take care of Trunks and try to keep the civilians safe from the Hell invaders. Vegeta would take care of Broly, and Goku tried to close the opening in Hell. Vegeta quickly rushed out the door to support Broly, asking him if he was okay. It was clear that he was a little hurt, but the Saiyan simply grunted as he stared down at the other Broly. This other Saiyan had an extremely evil aura, unlike anything they had felt before. It was clear that he was in a Super Saiyan state, but his hair color was a blue shade rather than the traditional yellow. Vegeta asked who the hell he was, but the Saiyan simply responded by saying,
Kakarot!
Vegeta wondered how he knew Kakarot's Saiyan name as he got into his battle stance. There was no time for questions. Vegeta telling Broly to kick it into high gear as he transformed into Super Saiyan 3. But despite Vegeta and the evil Broly clashing overhead, the good Broly didn't move. There was something preventing him. Vegeta held his own for a little bit, but the evil Broly continued to grow in power and savagery. Vegeta got a chance to hang back and yell at the good Broly, but soon he realized why he wasn't attacking. On the ground, three figures grinned wickedly at the Saiyans fighting. Dr. Gero, Dr. Mew, and a Saiyan Vegeta only recognized by the armor. That was Paragus. Broly's father had escaped from Hell. No doubt he had a hand in creating this Hell Hound Broly. Dr. Mew and Gero gloated about their creations and how they would finally kill Goku, but Paragus stepped up, smirking at the prince and telling him that he is so glad to finally meet him, turning to the good Broly and telling him to finish his mission, kill Vegeta. Vegeta's eyes widened in horror as Broly attacked the prince. He couldn't believe it. They were really being betrayed by this Broly. Even after saving him from Baby, he soon found himself in the midst of battle against both of them, being forced to utilize Super Saiyan 4 just to stand a chance. But even that power was outmatched by the other two legends, Broly unleashing his wrathful state and Hell Hound Broly roaring in his corrupted Super Saiyan. They were beyond might. They had surpassed the concept of strength itself. Vegeta felt a cold sweat mixed with blood on his face.
You're monsters! Monster. I'm the devil!
Paragus explains to Vegeta that it was because of his father that he and Broly were sent to an isolated planet. This was their revenge. Broly has just realized the truth is all. Vegeta tries to talk to Broly, saying that even if the prince had to pay for his father's sins, Earth was innocent, and they had done nothing but welcome him to this world. Broly starts to doubt himself, wondering if listening to his father really was his destiny. That doubt faded with pain as Paragus clicked something in his palm, sending a terrifying pulse through Broly's body. Vegeta was shocked. He thought Bulma had changed the remote, but Mew and Gero chuckled, exclaiming that anything that woman can do, they can undo. Dr. Mew had gifted Broly immense power, even the possibility to merge with his hellish doppelganger. Dr. Gero had given him the power to absorb Ki. Both Brolys were completely under control, right? But over time, Gero and Mew realized the lack of response from Hell Broly. They yelled at him to take this chance to absorb his other self, but he refused. His Saiyan pride kept him from combining with them. He wanted to kill Goku himself.
Kakarot is mine!
Paragus chuckled. His son would only ever listen to him, as he ordered Super Broly to continue battling Vegeta and Hell Broly to kill Mew and Gero. The doctors were quickly obliterated. He wasn't interested in any Goku and had no more need for the doctors. Vegeta wouldn't be able to hold on much longer. Meanwhile, in Hell, Goku is saved by Piccolo, escaping Hell, as Goten, Pan, Trunks, Gohan, and Oob bring down enemy after enemy. Thanking Piccolo, Goku returns to the world of the living, instantly sensing the incredible power of both Brolys and bursting into Super Saiyan 4 to help Vegeta. Goku kicks Hell Hound Broly out of the way, asking the original for answers. Vegeta tries to explain, but an explosion of power erupted from Hell Broly. He was staring directly at Goku as the jewelry around his neck broke apart, transforming into his legendary state. Just the mere sight of Goku triggered it. Paragus could never predict this. Too much hatred towards Goku was put in him by Mew and Jiro, so much so that it was truly impossible to tell what he'd do next. He became a hulking monster who could only scream the name of Kakarot. Hellhound was made up of pure rage against Goku, and not only Jiro and Muse, but Frieza, Cell, and every other villain which Goku had sent straight to hell. In a way, Goku was responsible for this power. Broly screams Kakarot's name, but as if his goals were conflicted, he flashed between
The devils shall be avenged.
and
Revenge for the Red Ribbon Army.
Paragus even thinks he heard something about the need to create an ultimate fighting pose. It didn't matter. He was still programmed to listen to him. Goku and Vegeta defended themselves the best they could against the Broly pair, with Hell Broly fighting Goku and Vegeta fighting the good Broly. But it was evident to Vegeta that Broly wasn't trying his best anymore. He didn't want to fight like this. In a move he hadn't used since his original fight against Kakarot as Majin Vegeta, he created a pair of paralyzing rings that forced Broly against the wall. He couldn't believe what he was doing. He was really trying to talk to Broly about this. He guessed that he really had changed. Vegeta said that Saiyans are a warrior race, but their power can be used for good rather than revenge.
A righteous clown I met along my path taught me that. No one deserves to be a slave. You should fight only for yourself.
Paragus scoffed at such an un-Saiyan sentiment. Vegeta really had grown weak on his world, and continued to electrocute Broly. Yet somehow, the Titan refused to fight. He didn't want to hurt his friends any longer. He continued to power through it, as Paragus got tired of it. They could take care of Goku later, telling Hell Broly to take care of Vegeta instead. But he too refused to listen to his father. Things were getting out of control, as Broly's power only continued to rise more and more, and Goku couldn't do anything but be hit. As Paragus continued to yell at Hell Broly, the Hell Saiyan looks away from Goku and rushes in front of Paragus. Paragus couldn't catch his breath as the imposing figure stood in front of him. It was only a matter of time before Broly destroyed the planet. Paragus had to escape. He finally had a chance to not be in isolation, and he wasn't going to waste this chance. Paragus began to run away, rushing into the GT ship that was sitting in the back of Capsule Corp. He was trying to blast off, but he felt the ship shake. Hell Broly was pushing the ship over and over again, making it crush in. Good Broly turned his attention to him, yelling at him to stop and flying towards him, but his Hell counterpart continued until Broly could simply squeeze the ship and kill Paragus inside. A gasp escapes Broly's mouth as he watched his father die. Slowly, Hell Broly turned around to look at Goku. He was now his main focus. But Goku and Vegeta couldn't keep their eyes away from their friend, and Broly grabbed onto the collar, ripping it apart as his aura expanded, his stop being ripped as he grew in muscle mass and his pupils broke. Broly had awakened, the same legendary power used by Hell Broly. Goku and Vegeta couldn't do anything but watch as the other two Brolys fought each other with near equal might. They had to get them away from there, otherwise they would destroy the entire planet. Thinking quickly, yet risking his life, Goku teleports both Brolys into the new planet plant, which was still near Earth's orbit, before returning to teleport along with Vegeta. The planet wouldn't last very long, they could tell, but this was an extremely exciting battle. If they didn't stop Broly, then no one knows what could happen. They needed to help him control himself in order to fight together. Vegeta rushed at the evil Broly, while Goku tried to talk to the normal one a little more, doing his best to dodge his moves.
Broly, listen to me! You gotta control yourself! We can't help you if you're going wild. Remember what we worked on. Control your power! Your friends are waiting for you back home, you know. Let's kick this guy's butt!
Incredibly, Broly actually stopped for a second, shaking, but his pupils slowly returned. Broly smirked, nodding at Goku. It was time to battle together. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and Max Power Broly all stared down at the legendary Hell Fighter. It was time to end things. The three Saiyans smirked at the Hell Invader, powering up to the max. Likewise, the evil Broly began to raise his energy. The buildings Baby had created began to tumble behind them as the teams clashed. It was clear from the start that the heroes had a huge advantage, but the Hell Saiyan had been gifted with the unique power of absorbing ki by Dr. Gero. Goku knew there was only one way to defeat him, using their raw martial arts. Goku informed the others of the plan. They needed to make sure that Broly had his defenses down before attacking. Broly knew exactly what to do, pulling back his arm to fire beams of ki at the other self, but he simply laughed.
You may know everything I'm going to do, but I know everything you're going to do. Strange,
But
isn't
Broly
it?
insisted on firing the blast. Relentless in his attack, the enemy had no choice but to defend himself. Both jumping forward, Goku and Vegeta pulled their arms back, completely in sync, pushing as they both screamed out a dragon fist in unison, twin dragons spinning around each other as they burst into Broly, his chest scar opening as the planet below exploded. The last thing Vegeta and Broly felt was their arms being grabbed and teleported away to planet Earth. Finally, Earth was safe, but turmoil remained. Much death and destruction had occurred since the opening of the Hell Gates. The heroes knew the only way to return Earth to normal was with the Dragon Balls, and they all quickly gathered them, with Broly very curious about them. He had seen the Namekian dragon after the battles against Broly, but never Earth's. There was something strange, a crack on the Dragon Balls. The Z-Fighters ignored it at first. As they summoned the dragon, a dark cloud covered the area as a smoking dragon appeared, declaring himself to be an omen of things to come, the Shadow Dragons. The negative energy from the Dragon Balls had birthed 7 dragons, hell-bent in spreading their energy. It was up to the heroes to stop them. As the dragons spread through the world, Broly leaned over to Goku and told him something.
You know, Son Goku, I think I like the Namekian dragon a bit more.
There was a sadness in the air. Had they relied too much on the Dragon Balls? Vegeta cursed, but Goku told everyone not to fret. It may be fun to find and defeat them all. Goku thought himself and Pan would be enough for it, but Broly really wanted to help. He felt partly responsible since his father had been the mastermind. Besides, he wanted to keep getting stronger and controlling his power, never wanting to lose control again. With that, the others offer help as well. Goku, Vegeta, Broly,
Goten and Trunks will come along as well.
With the Shadow Dragons.
The GT heroes get ready for an adventure of a lifetime.
So
There's a darkness much more dangerous than just Omega Shenron in the distance. Because, as they say, you can't keep an evil Saiyan down.
The lesser dragons proved to be powerful adversaries. Rage, Oceanus, and Haze were dealt with easily. They were making good time, with Goku having a furiously hot inferno battle against Nova Shenron. The Shadow Dragon was honorable and loved battle just as much as Goku. It pained the Saiyan to defeat him, but he needed his grandfather's Dragon Ball back. In the end, he felt like in another life, they could have been friends. Vegeta's team defeated their own, but still needed to find Ice. He was moving extremely fast, they couldn't quite catch up to him. They hoped that the others were making good time. He checked the radar Bulma had made for his team and saw that most of the Dragon Balls already seemed to be with the 1-star ball. Looks like Kakarot had gotten to him first. Of course, he wanted to have all the fun. Vegeta and Trunks start heading towards it as well for support, but as Vegeta approached, his eyes cleared to see Broly standing in front of Sin Shenron. The Shadow Dragon had tremendous power. Not only was he stronger than any of the others, but he already had 3 Dragon Balls on his chest, counting his own 1-star ball. Wait a minute, that mean the signal Vegeta had looked at was not Kakarot? Where was he? Was he taken down by a dragon? Gohan was already down, as Broly defended him fiercely. It was clear that Broly was trying to keep himself in check, no doubt still feeling guilty about the damage caused to Earth. Vegeta instantly jumped into Super Saiyan 3, helping Broly during the battle and telling him to use more of his strength. The world could take it. Sin was finally being pushed back against the ropes, while Trunks took care of Gohan. Vegeta was hit harshly, as Sin kneed him on the chest, throwing him at Trunks. Broly tried to calm from behind, but Sin extended his spikes and pierced through Broly's arm. This gave the Shadow Dragon a chance to grab both Broly's and Vegeta's Dragon Ball, making that 5 Dragon Balls total. He was only growing more and more in power, as he began to generate evil energy spheres that sucked the life from everyone around, throwing it down at Broly. The Saiyan caught it,
but he was being pushed back. He knew he had to enter his berserk state. He couldn't hold on much longer. Vegeta slowly regained consciousness as he woke up to a beeping sound. Looking to the left to see his dragon radar displayed 2 Dragon Balls quickly approaching. It had to be Kakarot. Of course he waited until the last second to save the day, as it seemed Broly was going to explode in anger since Shenron was thrown to the side. Something had hit him, but it wasn't a Ki Ball. Broly finally pushed the Ki Sphere back, exploding in the sky. He panted, tired. That was too close. He looked up to thank Goku, but he wasn't there. He looked around to where Sin landed. He had been struck by an unconscious body of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Vegeta gasped. Who could have enough power to defeat Kakarot? Was it another Shadow Dragon? His answer came as the ground beneath shook and a scream was heard.
Kakarot! Kakarot!
It was none other than the evil Broly. Somehow he had survived. He was holding Ice Shenron by the head. He was clearly near death. It was impossible. They had killed him, hadn't they? Unbeknownst to Vegeta, this evil creation had survived the planet explosion and landed on planet Earth below. Just like Z Broly had, it took some time for him to regain consciousness, but once he did, he was quickly found by Ice Shenron. The dragon challenged him to a battle, but stood no chance. Goku went after that same dragon after defeating Nova, alongside Oob and Pan, but their power wasn't enough. The evil Broly had gotten stronger than the first time they battled. Broly was now going after the strongest beings he could find, and Sin had caught his attention. The dragon pushed Goku off of him, demanding to know the meaning of this. As the barely conscious ran over to check on Goku, Sin requested for the evil Broly to hand over the final 2 Dragon Balls he was carrying. Broly, realizing this would only mean the strongest adversary, threw eyes at Omega, followed by the 4-star ball, which Goku had been carrying. And though Sin caught and absorbed eyes, the 4-star ball never reached him. Goku jumped up in a flash, catching the ball mid-throw. He declared that no matter what, he wouldn't allow his grandfather's final relic to be taken by such evil beings. Despite being extremely hurt, he still smiled, doing the unthinkable and eating the Dragon Ball whole. Everyone was flabbergasted by this action, while Goku tells Gohan and Trunks to run away and get the others to safety. Oob was down at the location they encountered Broly at, but Goku had teleported Pan to the lookout. Vegeta yelled at Gohan to get Bulma. He had a plan. Goku cocked an eyebrow, to which Vegeta nodded in response. Goku then took something out from his pocket, smirked, and thanked Korin as he bit half of the Senzu and threw the rest at Broly and Vegeta. It was time for their final battle. Omega Shenron floated by Hell Hound Broly, the Z fighters rushing forward, with Goku landing a clean punch against Omega's jaw, while Vegeta and Broly fired a Ki Blast to evil Broly. Hell Hound was getting annoyed. He wanted to fight the strongest beings around, and Omega Shenron was probably it for now. Yet, these pests prevented him from fighting. He didn't have an option but to deal with them first. But as soon as the battle started, it was clear that the 3 Saiyans were much more dangerous than Omega was at the time. This hard-fought battle seemed to be in favor of the heroes at first, but they were struggling. The back and forth continued for a while Broly used more and more of his strength, managing to actually control it this time. Goku only hoped that Gohan and the others were safe. He wondered why Vegeta had specified on bringing Bulma along. But if anyone had good plans lately, it was him. As the battle continued, Broly became interested in Goku once more, his programming telling him to finally kill him, and Omega Shenron was getting in the way of that. As it seemed the dragon had Goku outmatched, Vegeta too left the evil Saiyan Broly as he retreated to help his friend. The 2 Brolys opened their emerald auras against each other, stuck in a power struggle, until Hell Broly was able to push back the other one down to the ground. At the same time, Omega Shenron had Goku by the throat, yelling about how he finally needed the 4-star ball, no matter what. Vegeta was getting ready to fire a final shine attack down from the ground below when he stopped dead in his tracks. Omega wondered what was wrong. Had he finally given up? No. That's when Omega felt something warm touch his back. It was an immensely strong Ki Ball, which started small but began to expand. Omega dropped Goku as he heard Broly laugh behind him. The Hell Saiyan had just fired the most powerful attack they had ever felt against the Shadow Dragon, who could barely manage to turn around and to look Broly in the eyes as he was disintegrated. None of them could believe it, but the Dragon Balls from Omega's body dropped to the ground and rolled over to them. This being was truly their greatest challenge ever. The evil Broly only continued to laugh as finally Bulma and the rest of the Z fighters arrived. She was driving some kind of machine. Goku asked what it was and Vegeta explained that he thought it was time to finally help Broly reach a similar form to them, Super Saiyan 4. The good Broly was actually excited about this. Perhaps this could mean they were actually going to defeat the evil Saiyan. But as Bulma fired the Blood Waste machine and Broly began to slowly transform into an Ozaru, Hell Hound Broly blitzed forward, creating a huge woof of wind that nearly knocks down the machine, but completely blindsided the Z fighters. They all hear Broly struggle, turning to see how the evil Broly had taken him into a full Nelson. What was his plan? Was he going to turn himself into a Super Saiyan 4? Vegeta told Bulma to turn off the machine, but it was all too late. The evil creation didn't care about any Super Saiyan 4. All he cared about was torturing his enemies now. How would he accomplish this? By finally utilizing some of his programming courtesy of Gero and Mew, forcefully combining himself with the real Broly. Finally, the aura lessened to reveal an even more powerful being than Hell Broly. A tail whipped around in the wind, dark fur covering his body. This was the legendary merged Broly. It was over, wasn't it? There was no way they could actually hope to defeat this villain. The other fighters like Oob, Pan, and Trunks asked Goku what they could do. Escape to fight another day? Goku, despite all odds, smiled. He turned to them all and said,
"Funny. I know I should be scared, but I'm more excited than ever. This isn't just about defeating this guy anymore. It's about rescuing our friend."
As Goku finished saying this, something appears to form on Goku's forehead, the 4-star ball he had previously eaten. The Z fighters are grossed out by this, but there's no time to question it. Hopefully, Goku doesn't die from whatever that was. Broly, surprisingly, is also appalled by the situation but disregards it, and zooms forward. Gohan, Oob, Goten, Trunks, and Pan all fire key bullets at the monster, who opens his aura up to absorb them all. They were covering Goku and Vegeta while they commenced their combo, kneeing Broly in the gut and hammer fisting him to the ground. But the fusion landed feet first, shot them a look up, and fired a giant storm of ki blasts from his mouth. Goku and Vegeta barely escaped it, but Broly appeared behind them and slammed them against each other. His speed and strength were unrivaled. He really was the ultimate outcome of every single enemy they had ever fought. Broly stood on top of a building, laughing maniacally. He was surrounded by Goku, Vegeta, Oob, Trunks, Goten, and Gohan. They all rushed into attack, but the monster was barely affected. Broly caught Trunks and Gohan by the neck, while Goten and Oob rose up to the sky and fired Kamehamehas. It destroys the building and Broly falls down to the ground. Oob goes after him, but Broly simply slams his head against him when he comes down, spinning on the ground to kick him away. Broly began to run towards Goku, knocking all of the other heroes out of the way. As Goku charged a full power Kamehameha times 10, he told Vegeta to attack with a melee combo, while Broly opened his aura to absorb the ki blast. But Broly didn't open his aura. Instead, he took the hit directly. As the blast surrounded him, Broly just tanked the attack, grabbing Goku by the face and slamming his fist against his stomach. Broly flew up, Goku giggling as he realized that this was a much harder battle than he realized. Broly declared his victory not with words, but with a gigantic meteor ki ball that eclipsed the sun and destroyed buildings from the intense gravity it created. Vegeta rushed to take care of Bulma and Trunks. Gohan held on to Pan and Goten, while Oob ran to his master's side and attempted to hold the ki ball back with him. "I'm sorry, Master Goku. I couldn't be strong enough to help you. I'm sorry."
What are you talking about, Oob? You're here, you're fighting. That's what matters. I'm proud of you. You know the only thing I wished for now, Oob?
Is now really the time, Master?
I just wish I could have eaten one more of my grandpa's meals. But I guess I will soon.
Master, your forehead, it's glowing. Goku looked up, barely able to see the Dragon Ball on his forehead, glowing and emanating something, a being of some kind. It appeared before the meteor blast, completely engulfing it in flames. It was Nova Shenron. He smiled back at Goku, telling him that this was their only chance. Nova would get rid of the ki ball, so they could keep fighting. After all, the Dragon Balls had always helped. Perhaps this was the last time. Goku thought of something. The Dragon Balls, of course! The blinding light consumed the ki ball and burned it up, leaving only the 4-star ball behind that rolled over to Goku. He picked it up and smiled at it, and threw the ball over at Pan, telling her to wait for his signal. Pan's eyes glimmered with hope, running over to get the rest of the balls. Goku looked over to Vegeta and nodded at him. They got into their fusion position, but Broly instantly appeared to punch them out of the way. It was clear they weren't going to be able to use the dance. Makes sense, the good Broly had already seen it once before before and knew the power it contained. But there was more than one way to fuse, wasn't there? Goku teleported away to the Kaioshin realm, where old Kai and Kibito Shin had been cheering for them. Goku put out his hand and Kaioshin knew what he was there for, throwing the Potara over. It was finally time. Vegeta and the rest of the Z Fighters were doing their best to keep Broly at bay, but once Goku returned, Trunks, Goten, and even Gohan were very hurt on the ground. Goku wasted no time, yelling Vegeta's name and throwing the Potara at him, but in the blink of an eye, Broly intercepted the Potara, realizing that Goku was already wearing one, laughing and mocking him as he placed it on his own ear, not realizing what they were. Goku gasped, yelling, "No, no, 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 no," over and over until both of their bodies slammed against each other. This was horrific, as an immense aura expanded out. Goku and Broly had fused together. Their power would be enough to destroy the entire universe. Yet, when it attacked Vegeta, it would punch, then immediately curl back. It wasn't fighting correctly. It was strong enough to kill them all, but it seemed like it was just messed up somehow. The fusion began to steam, looking as if it was melting. That's when we see Goku. He was staring down at Broly in a place that looked like nothingness. The closest thing it reminded Goku of was the Room of Spirit and Time. The evil Broly taunted Goku as the two continued to fight even in this space, but it seemed like Goku was never going to win. That's when he noticed something behind the Hell Broly. Their friend, the original Broly, was defeated, hurt, almost like he was in a trance. In theory, Goku and Broly were supposed to work together within this fusion, but the hatred was too much, and the fusion could not work properly. It continued to hurt itself, slamming itself against buildings and objects. It began to look more and more messed up, being a melted creature rather than a proper fusion. Vegeta asked what the hell he was doing, and the fusion said,
I cannot hurt my friends, but I will kill Kakarot!
Goku told the original Broly that he'd save him. He'd get him out of there one way or the other. It was clear to the outside world that Goku and maybe even the original Broly had too much influence on this fusion. Vegeta yelled at it to control itself, that their friends are waiting for them and they need to protect Earth. Goku and Broly could hear everything. They didn't know where they were, inside the fusion, in another plane of existence, as if the fusion was its own being, perhaps. Either way, they had some sort of say from the fusion itself. The good Broly finally looked up, meeting eyes with Goku. They were there for what seemed like an eternity, until something began to pull on both Goku and Hell Broly. Goku and Broly defused, with Goku shaking the goo off, but Broly was still largely covered by it. All the Z fighters gathered around, as Vegeta said that it looks like the Potara does indeed have a time limit. Goku nodded, as he turned towards Pan and told her to finally summon the dragon. But first, they needed the Potara. Broly seemed to be confused, in pain even. It looked like even though Goku was no longer part of him, the good Broly was still putting in some work. He was starting to fight sloppily. This gave Goku a chance to snatch the Potara from Broly's ear, throwing it at Vegeta once more. Again, Broly tried to intercept it, but this time Oob appeared before him and exploded his aura, using every single ounce of ki to keep Broly at bay. It worked, barely, as Broly punted Oob down to the ground, while Pan chanted the words to summon Shenron. Behind Oob's bright power appeared another bright light, Shenron's body swirling around the city as a powerful figure rose in front of it. Shenron's light illuminated the fusion. Super Saiyan 4 Vegito was born. Vegito sprinted to Broly, slamming his shoulder against him, punching him up just to grab him by the leg and slam him back down, creating a huge crater.
Goku, it is time to leave.
Hold on a second, Shenron. I have a friend to save, and I need your help. One final wish. The world's messed up, and we need to bring it back to normal. But first, I need you to free Broly.
Without even letting Shenron reply, Vegito stepped forward once more, stopping Broly with a big bang attack to the face. Broly didn't have enough time to open his barrier and absorb it. He was simply blasted down to the ground. Broly opened his eyes and fired a blaster, but Vegito responded with a final Kamehameha back. This time, Broly was actually able to open his aura to stop it, but Vegito teleported behind him and kicked him away. From the smoke, Broly rose, making a huge rain of ki bullets. Vegito kicked some of them back, almost as if they were just simply soccer balls, protecting his friend. But Vegeta knew he had a job to do, lifting his arm up to the sky and creating a giant spirit Excalibur. Broly flew towards Vegeta, firing Ki Blast, but the fusion barely reacted as he sliced across Broly, bursting the scar open into a bright light. Broly screamed in pain as Shenron's eyes glowed. It looked as if from the shining light on his chest, the original Broly was able to crawl out of the fusion, falling to the ground, still with a tail. He was freed. Meanwhile, the Broly fusion shrieked in pain as it transformed back into the Hell Hound, who panted in exhaustion. Vegeta helped Broly up, nodding at him. He was happy to have his friend back, but it wasn't over just yet. They needed to rid the world of this devil once and for all. They both got into their battle stance, with Broly transforming into Super Saiyan 4 himself. He couldn't believe it, he was actually in that form, but he was glad to be standing by friends. The Hell Broly yelled at the top of his lungs, launching to the heroes. Vegeta didn't hesitate, working with Broly to push their enemy to his very limit. But even Vegeta wasn't meant to last forever, and soon the fusion undid itself. They were running out of time. Hell Hound Broly was a ticking time bomb as he fired one final blast. It was obvious he was trying to destroy the planet just like he had babies. Goku stood in front of Vegeta and Broly, spitting out some blood.
You know, I'm glad to end it all with you guys. Kakarot, no time to get melancholic. You're right. Follow my lead. Times 10. Kamehame! Final shine! Ah!
Broly roared as Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Oob, and Pan all shared their energy with him. Hellhound simply laughed, confident in his abilities. As their friends disappeared, Gohan and the others supported Goku and Vegeta. This was truly the final family Kamehameha, their eyes burning with love for battle and a wish to protect Earth. The sound of an Ozaru roared as the original Broly appeared above Hellhound Broly, who had his barrier open, ready to absorb any ki that came his way. But our Broly had his fist pulled back, full of energy. He looked at it. He could see the smiling faces of his friends. And finally, Earth. The mirage of an Ozaru appeared behind him as he crashed down into the android barrier. It began to crack slowly until finally bursting, and Broly hit the Hellhound in the face with that final punch, making him let go of the Omega Blaster as the final family Kamehameha pushed forward, consuming the evil being and incinerating him, leaving no trace of him behind. Finally, their home had been saved. They all dropped out of Super Saiyan form into their base, laughing and crying over how happy they were that finally peace was reached. But from behind, as Earth began to restore itself thanks to Shenron, his giant face moved down to greet them all, speaking in its wise voice.
Son Goku, now is it time?
With a melancholic smile, Goku nodded, standing up and telling everyone how happy he was to have had a chance to have an amazing battle like that. But it was time to leave. Vegeta asked Goku where he was going, but he was simply shushed, signaling over to Pan. Vegeta understood. It would be a while before he saw that stupid kid again. He just wished him luck. Broly approached Goku slowly.
Thank you for everything, son.
Come on, Broly. You don't have to call me by my surname. Name's Goku. But you know what? Call me Kakarot.
Shenron takes off to the sky as they all wave at Goku. Chi-Chi commented on how she hoped that he'd be back in time for dinner. But in his heart, Broly felt that Goku would not be returning. He would live in his heart. It's thanks to him that he was able to prove that he was more than a mere monster, more than a devil. He had proven King Vegeta, the Saiyans, and even his own father wrong. Broly could finally smile.
100 years later.
We find ourselves at the Tenkaichi Budokai, where the descendants of Goku and Vegeta battle it out. But off in the distance, Pan sits, watching her grandson happily. Next to her is a young boy with an anxious face and shaggy hair. This is Broly's timid descendant, who asks Granny Pan if he too will be able to turn Super Saiyan one day. Pan chuckles and pats his head, explaining that power doesn't matter if you can't control it. She will teach him that first and foremost. But for now, they should just enjoy the match. The little boy smiles, holding Pan's hand as his cheerful laugh echoes across the tournament stands. The end.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And share with friends who like Dragon Ball. I think I'm going to start doing this thing that I did here, where I take old ideas that I never really finished, but I did get started and finish them off. This one in particular I really wanted to do. I think I'm gonna do it with Hell Hound Broly as well. And I know a lot of you guys want me to continue What If They Learned Fusion Early, so I may do it with that one as well. I've gotten some requests for What If Raditz raised Goku, but I think that one I could restart. I have some new ideas for that one. I gotta give a huge thank you to Kobe Faison, who did the amazing thumbnail for this video, as well as my video editors, Chrisds and GeeksForFun. I couldn't have done this video without you guys. It was a lot of fun to write, and you guys brought it to life. Let me know what you guys thought of this story down in the comments below. I read almost every single comment, and I try to answer as many as I can during the first hour. Above everything, be sure to share with your friends who like Dragon Ball. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. And as always, thank you to the Patreons of the channel: JP Law, Angel MR, True Lightning Striker, Squad 100, Ghost 1571, PJ90 the Third, Lee Orchides, Orange Bag YT, Trench Rolls, D-Man Plays, Jim G, Jerome Foster, D Miles, The Gaming Galaxy, Dakota Kaiser, Salil Paranjape, Keith Grimes, Celestia, Dreadpool, and Samuel Randall. I've also been thinking about remaking or maybe doing something similar to What If Beerus Woke Up in GT. Maybe something named What If Goku and Vegeta Were Trained by Whis in GT, because that's one of my oldest stories, but it's one I really love, and I think I could do even better now. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments below. Also, I hope those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving had a great one. I'm thankful for you guys, especially those who leave nice comments telling me that my videos make you guys' day a little bit better. Those are the comments that make me keep going. I also have some plans to make more Dragon Ball Explained videos with me on camera. I'm really excited to start that, since that's what I've always wanted to do. Explaining and analyzing stuff about Dragon Ball is how it started on YouTube, so I think I'm gonna do more stuff like that here and there. I hope you guys will join me in that. Right now I'm going through rereading the Dragon Ball manga, just to get myself a little refreshed. It's been a long time. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed, and until we meet again, see ya!